Back in your days, you probably called them a DLG.
I'm 80.
Back in your day, I think they called them DLGs. Sometime in the late 80s, they changed it to CGs.
Did you stay for the whole meeting the other night?
Yep.
I went home and finished watching it.
No, I just,
I can't hear, the sound system's bad out there.
well, I've
So I
already,
went home and listened to it on Channel 5.
well, I want to make sure, as I said the same thing about it, if I don't want to miss anything. Because, you know,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
too
but when I
involved
went
in it.
home, I could hear it all real clear. Here, they don't talk into these enough, you know?
Well, as I say, I want to make sure, as I said, if I got something to say, you know, people, because right now I'm into it so bad with the recreation department that they don't even want to hear from me anymore.
Maybe you gotta give a little, Harvey.
My problem
You
is,
gotta give and you gotta take.
my problem is I give too much and they don't take enough.
Sometimes you gotta give just patience.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City of Eastpointe Zoning Board of Appeals. May I have the roll call?
Peak, here. Creech,
Here,
Holsley,
Here.
Rayford,
Here.
Wilson,
Here?
Lemo.
Here. Mrs. Salento is excused.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Hearing of the public. When we have you come up at both the hearing of the public and for your case, please sign in and state your name. Okay, the hearing of the public is strictly for business other than what is on the business tonight. So if you have something else to talk about in regards to zoning, you may talk about it. Is there anybody here for hearing of the public? Is there anybody here for hearing of the public? See that there are none, we're going to the approval of minutes, September 19th, 2019. Do I have a motion to accept?
So move.
Who made the motion?
Me.
Okay, Mary.
Mary?
Okay,
What
who's,
order we approved them last meeting?
For September 19th?
Yeah, if you look on the minutes from the last meeting, we did approve them.
Wait a minute.
Oh, okay. I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we just
It
got
would be January.
January 16th.
Okay. So I move that we approve the minutes for January 16th, 2020.
Wilson, second?
okay. Okay. Rayford,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Peak, yes. Creech,
yes.
Holsley,
Yes.
Lemo.
Yes.
Okay.
Before we start the hearings, we have a formal statement that has to be read. The Zoning Board of Appeals is an administrative body established by the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act and the codified ordinance of the City of Eastpointe. The function of the ZBA is to act as an appeals board upon questions arising under the city zoning ordinance. The board may not alter or change any zoning district classification of any property, nor make any change in the terms of the zoning code. Those functions are for the city council. The ZBA is not a legislative body. The ZBA acts on those matters where the zoning code provides for administrative review, interpretation, exception, or special approval permit, and may authorize a variance. Most ZBA matters concern requests for variances. The ZBA considers only non-use variances. A non-use variance is often called a dimensional variance and usually deals with setback, height, or land area requirements. Where there is practical difficulties preventing a property owner from conforming with the strict letter of the ordinance, the ZBA has the power to grant non-use or dimensional variance. To obtain a non-use or dimensional variance, the applicant must demonstrate a practical difficulty and show by competent material and substantial evidence. A, strict compliance with area setbacks, frontage, height, bulk, or density would unreasonably prevent the owner from using the property for a permitted purpose or would render conformity unnecessarily burdensome. B, a variance would do substantial justice to the applicant as well as to other property owners in the district, and that a lesser relaxation would not give substantial relief and be more consistent with justice to others. C, the plight of the owner is due to the unique circumstances of the property. D, the problem is not self-created. To grant a non-use or dimensional variance would require a concurring vote in the affirmative of a majority of the members of the board. Tonight, that means 4 affirmative votes. The decision of the ZBA are final. Any petitioner aggrieved by a decision of the board must appeal to the Macomb County Circuit Court. The City Council has no authority to hear appeals from the ZBA. Unfinished business, Spencer B. Campbell seeks to vary from the provisions of the codified ordinance of the City of Eastpointe, Section 50-243. 1, no such structure may be enlarged or altered in a way that will increase its nonconformity. Section 50-7B states that the required minimum side yard setback shall be 4 feet with a total for both side yards. The setback shall be 13 feet. Mr. Campbell requests to expand the attached garage, continuing the non-conforming structure with a 5-foot side yard setback on the expansion and the other side yard of 4 foot for a total side yard setback of 9 feet at 24305 Warrington Court, Vanity Subdivision, S 26 feet, south 26 feet of lot 63 and north 40 feet of lot 64. Mr. Spencer, are you here? Mr. Spencer Campbell, are you here?
Good.
Do we continue and,
My recommendation, based on the fact that the applicant is not here, would be to table this matter until the applicant is able to appear. Perhaps the applicant had some type of family emergency that he or she is not able to attend this evening's proceedings. But just
Okay.
out of matter of fairness, I would recommend that the matter be tabled. And the applicant can certainly contact city administration or request that this item be placed on a future agenda. But for
okay,
purposes of
Sherry,
this-
we have not heard from them at all, have you?
No, I have not heard from him.
Okay.
No, I know. We
Do I have a motion to table?
Wilson, to make a motion, we table the unfinished business for our next meeting.
Second.
Excuse me, question, is there any way, I know I wasn't here at the last meeting, is there any way to discuss any of this right now? Because I'm gonna say, I know we're not supposed to discuss this between the members. Okay,
Yeah, if there's a motion to table on the floor, there is no discussion on it. The matter would simply be voted on. And it may be that ultimately maybe the applicant has withdrawn his or her request and just hasn't notified City Hall yet. So it may be that it becomes a moot point and it will not be added to the next agenda if the applicant wishes to withdraw the
They
request.
built it without approval. Or, I don't know. I don't know if it's built or not.
This is
Okay.
far from what I
Yeah,
know.
he might
George, it's
remove it
not.
then. Okay,
Okay. Wilson,
Yes.
Holsley,
Yes.
Creech,
yes.
Rayford,
Yes.
Lemo.
yes.
Okay.
Item 6, new business. Javara White seeks to vary from the ordinances of the code, from I'm sorry, excuse me. Javera White seeks to vary from the provisions of the codified ordinances of the city of Eastpointe, section 50-160A 4 requires a 3-foot setback from the property line for accessory structures. The applicant is requesting a 1-foot variance for the setback. They also seek a variance from section 50-255 of 15 feet from the rear of the property, from the rear property line for the construction of the deck. Property is located at 15564 Lincoln, 0214-31-329-08008 Universal Heights Subdivision, Lot 126. Mrs. White, would you step up and do you have any comments or anything you would like to?
Not really. I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't know I was gonna have.
Do you have a copy of your,
I had copies of everything. I left them at home.
do you want one to read right now?
I'm sorry.
I have one right here if you want to look at it in
Okay.
case there's
Yeah.
questions.
Sure. There you go.
There'll be questions after.
Okay.
Do you have anything to say, or are you ready for questions?
Yeah, well, I'm ready for questions.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
can do the questions.
Would you move the mic so, okay, good.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If she can kind of explain a little bit about what she's trying to do.
Yeah, if-
Okay. Well, we placed the deck in between our garage and our neighbor's garage. Well, I call it a patio, but come to find out it's called a deck. So it's a patio. It's about 8 inches off the ground. My husband and I built it. We didn't really know that we were supposed to get a permit for it. So we're trying to get the variance approved because it was supposed to be 20 feet from the rear fence, and we thought it was supposed to be 5 feet from the rear, so we built it 5 feet from the rear instead of 20. So we're just really trying to get it approved. It's just like a little sheet deck, like my little area. We're relaxing.
Shirley?
One of my main questions was, did you get permits for this before you even started it?
No, I
Why
had no
not?
clue. When I called the city, they told me I didn't have to get permits if I'm the homeowner that's doing a deck, a patio in the back. They said as long as it was a flat surface and we were doing the work, we didn't have to get one. That's what I was informed of.
Is that true, Rich?
No.
I would defer to Sherry if there was any contact with city administration.
A permit is required no matter who does it, a homeowner or a contractor, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was one mistake.
Yeah, big mistake. We didn't know.
Mr. Creech?
Yes. In relationship to this deck, me looking at it, can you possibly, maybe just through your foresight, what distance do you have? Do you have the pictures?
Yes.
I'm saying that, I'm just saying, I want to make sure she,
Yeah, I have them.
okay? Now, look at, I wish there was a number on this, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna get, the one that you've got, the picture, you're looking at the deck?
Yes, this
Okay.
one here.
What, is that your neighbor's garage right next to the deck itself?
It's about 6 inches from the garage.
I don't really want to sound stupid,
Uh-huh.
but how would be a fireman or anybody get in your backyard with this distance and that gate and that fence being right there next to your neighbor's garage.
Yeah. I know, but.
I mean, I know, is that-
I know, I can fit on both sides, so I kinda made it to where I can fit through.
You can get
Yeah.
through that distance?
Yeah, I do, because I plant flowers on both sides. I have flower beds on both sides and in the back, like,
Well, the setback itself is required for these, for that one, for the reason of somebody to walk in between,
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna say, that's what that setback is there for.
okay.
And excuse me, now, the distance between the front and, I see you did this because of your air conditioner?
Yes.
What is that distance?
It's about 15 feet, 15 to 16 feet from that air conditioner.
From the house,
Well, from the okay, so from the house to the deck, it's about 15 feet.
and from the air conditioner?
From the air conditioner, it may be a little less. I'm really not sure about the air conditioner. I didn't measure from the air conditioner, but from the house to the deck, it's about 15 feet.
Because I'd say one of your reasonings being that you couldn't put the deck where it should have been is because of the air conditioner.
Yeah, and because of the way my yard is angled, it goes at like a triangle. So it kind of goes like this. So if I was to put it there, it'll hang over in the driveway.
In the distance, is this your garage on the other side of it?
To the right,
Right.
yeah.
What is the
The first-
distance between your garage and that fence?
The back fence?
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about the back fence, the fence on the deck.
I think it's the same. So it's about 6 inches on both sides.
And
Or I think, I don't remember the exact measurement.
If I may interject, it looks more like it's a foot, 10 inches
Okay,
to a foot.
probably, because I can fit through there, because I plant flowers on that side.
in inches.
I plant flowers all the way around, so I can fit through there.
If this is not getting personal, why did you put that fence around this deck?
I thought it looked nice,
That's,
yeah. Because
that's
that-
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it
thank
looked
you.
nice, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Any other questions?
I just, I heard you say that you, when we were talking about the inches from the garage, both garages, you said that you thought it was 20 feet, or, I mean,
Yeah, I
20
thought it
inches? Where did you get that?
I thought it was supposed to be 5 inches from the rear of the fence.
Okay, and you got that,
Just
Number from-
Google, and I
Okay.
thought it was supposed to be like 5 inches from the rear of the fence.
Not 5 feet.
okay.
Yeah, 5 feet, I'm sorry, about 5 feet.
feet,
That's where I got, just Google, like, basic Google,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so is,
I was looking at this one picture. I see the air conditioning unit, but it looks like the deck is quite a ways from that, if I'm looking at the right picture. Is that-
Okay. Ma'am? This blank spot right here, is that where the air conditioner would go?
No, this is just that me standing in front of it, the air conditioner is further, it's closer
Farther
to the
out,
house.
okay.
Yeah, this was like a up-close picture, like me standing like right in front.
Then,
Because I have about maybe a foot of river rocks right there, maybe about a foot into the grass.
Okay. That, because I couldn't quite tell what that was. Okay.
have you had any complaints from your neighbor?
No, not from the deck. The only complaint I had was from the fence. I had put like maybe 2 panels of fencing, and I had to screw it into their garage to keep the dogs, my dog and their dog from, we didn't want them going back and forth. But they signed off on the fencing, but I haven't had any complaints about the deck from anyone.
Okay.
It was just a privacy fence that I put up.
Would you explain that again, what you said you did because of the dogs?
It was, okay, so we have like vinyl fencing, so we put like 2, I don't know, like just 2 pieces, 2 or 3 pieces. We screwed it up to their garage and hooked it to our fence.
They didn't complain about that?
Well, yeah, they
Oh,
did, and then
okay.
we got it resolved, like
Oh.
they signed off on it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
they signed off on it, but no one has complained about the deck.
Excuse me. You said your neighbors signed off on it.
On the fence, yes.
To whose ability did they sign off?
We signed off with it with Sherry. They signed it and I turned the paper into Ms. Nash.
Regarding the fence, yes, you have to
Yes.
have the adjacent neighbor's approval before
Yeah.
installing a fence.
Okay, I want to make sure I understand this.
Yes, for the
What
fence.
happened, again, I was just over there, what happened is they installed a new vinyl fence around the yard.
Well, it's not new. It's been there since we've been there since 2009.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, it's
It
been there
doesn't-
since we've been there.
Is the, then the
Yeah.
back is open like this then?
Yeah, we didn't replace the back yet. We just did the
Okay.
sides because it was so bad.
How, excuse me, how could you possibly say they could put the fence up when we have to have a distance of at least, I'm really lost on that one. When there has to be a distance between the garage,
There's no fencing, so the fencing on my neighbor's side stops at their garage. So there's no fencing that goes all the way to the back. So it was like just space.
Right.
I can
That I
understand
was
that.
tending to. And on my side is my garage, and then, my fence goes the other way.
Excuse me, Sherry, you knew that this was gonna look like this when you signed off on it?
She applied for a permit after the fact, and so we've been
Thank
dealing
you,
with it.
that's all I wanna know,
Yeah,
after the
Dealing with
fact.
it since, yes.
Yeah, I didn't think, okay.
Yeah, she found out later that she had to have it. The city inspector came by. So, any other questions? In regards to the back fence running along the house behind you, is there any thought to putting a fence up there or?
Yeah, we were gonna do that this summer, since we have the permit still from last year. I don't know if we have to get a new permit every year or what, but we were considering doing that this year.
I would, after the meeting, I would talk to Sherry
Okay,
on what you have to do.
okay.
But, yeah, I would, because that being, knowing how my family parties,
Okay,
that back fence would not be high enough,
yeah.
so,
Actually, I kind of kept it short because I talked to my neighbors over the back neighbors a lot over the fence. But we
okay.
were considering it.
Is there anybody in the audience that has anything to say? Any comments? Seeing that there's none. Does anybody have any more questions?
Excuse me, can I ask one more question on that? When,
Go ahead.
if I'm not, on that one corner, I am past the stage of confused.
Okay,
The neighbor signed off saying that fence could run totally over to that corner and down into her garage. Is that what we're saying?
no,
No.
no.
Okay,
What
I mean, I want to make sure I got it straight.
What she's saying is that the back of the garage there, where the back neighbor's fence comes between the two garages, there is a space opening. We all have it,
Right?
and we put fencing up there.
Right.
So, and that's the fence that they added. But in the spring, she is going to put she's going to put a vinyl fence up there, a taller one, a 6-foot one. So that'll cover, that would block everything off, and if she got the permit and that, we wouldn't have to, it would be nothing we have to worry about. Now, the fence that's on the deck
Thank
is
you.
a decorative fence.
Excuse me, that's the fence I'm talking about now. Okay.
Yeah, that's the fence she did not get that comes with the permit.
I tell you, I am really past the stage of confused on this.
Okay, okay.
Because, did your neighbor give you permission? There again, too, as I said, or maybe there again, when you're talking about the second, I understand that one. But when you're talking about the first one, on the corner of the fence of where that deck was built,
I have a picture of that part you're talking about, if it would make it seem a little better for you.
Yeah, maybe it would.
Because the area I'm talking about that my neighbors approved, so this is the fence to the left of me. It's just like two little ears of fencing that's screwed onto their garage. See, that's their garage wall, and this is a little piece about this wide that's screwed to their garage.
Excuse me, let me see if, either that's wrong or this is wrong, or I'm looking at the wrong,
So it looks like
the whole
that.
thing.
You see that part right there? This here, that's what's, screwed to their garage.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about this piece right here.
Oh, that's my yard.
I understand that.
Okay.
Okay, is
That's my, I'm not looking at this.
Okay. Oh.
That's what I understand. I thought, yeah.
yeah, we can't see that fence on the picture.
Oh, so you're looking at, it's a little area.
Right, that, as I say, yeah, I don't, that's why I wanted to make sure I get this.
We haven't replaced that part yet. That part has to be replaced. It's just like the white fence in the back. It has to be replaced, because it's just leaning up against the
Okay.
garage. So we have to replace that section and a section in the back.
So,
That part that he's talking about, that needs to
Okay.
be replaced.
And you've got permission to replace that.
No, we haven't even talked about doing that yet. Because if we move it,
Okay, then, see, thank you.
Yeah.
That's the back, but that's what I'm talking about.
oh yeah, no, we haven't even talked about it yet. Because
Okay,
it
and then
has
it
to be
said the front
replaced.
is one,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, and that's on the back.
Yeah, that's in the
Because
back.
as I said before too, yeah,
Yeah, it's broken.
Oh.
It just leans up against their garage.
I know it does, because
Yeah.
that's the question that wasn't
Yep.
even brought forth to begin with, right?
Yep.
Okay, and I said the other, I'm talking about, when you're talking
Oh,
about
yeah,
the
yeah, you're
flowers.
talking about this part. Yeah,
wanna
that's
make
just
sure, thank
leaning
you.
there.
okay. Any more questions?
We are the neighbors here, and the only question I have is,
Sir, would you come up to the mic and, Javera, just have a seat there for a moment, please. Oh, should have brought you the mic.
yes,
Your
my name is
sir?
Adana Benetti and my wife, Lena Benetti. We are the neighbors who have been referred to. And our only question is that, does this affect the property lines, or is a verbal commitment enough to keep the property lines the same in case in the future we decide to sell?
Okay,
Or-
the white garage?
Yes.
Okay. Unless the back fence is on your property, everything goes right to your garage, I take it,
Yes.
okay? I don't think that would matter.
I think we should defer this question to the attorney.
So the property lines would not be affected.
Okay, so it wouldn't be affected.
That's correct.
So you can have you know,
We're just
because,
dealing- This evening's variance requests are only dealing with the setback requirements that are imposed by the
Okay.
zoning ordinance, not any property lines or boundary lines between adjacent properties.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sherry, I have a question. Had the deck been smaller in size?
Has the
How would
deck-
that have impacted?
If the deck was smaller,
Yeah.
as long as they were 20 feet from the rear line, they would be fine. And then, 3 feet from property line on the side,
Okay.
then they would be in compliance. But it's 5 feet from the rear line now, so you would be taking another 15 feet, which is probably most of that dock.
Okay.
Excuse me. Sherry, can you please tell me on the back fence again, too? I understand, is that allowed on the deck?
Well, I guess it's semantics, because when I'm looking at this deck, to me, what you see on top of there, to me, it's a guardrail. because it's sitting on top of the deck. I did not consider it a fence. I mean, there's guardrails that look like that, so I did not consider it a fence.
Because I guess I'm looking at it just being too close to the garage, all the way down and attached, and the rest of it. Maybe if it was, to her side is one thing, but to the other side, with that being down there, that's showing me a fence instead of a guardrail or per se, it was a safety, but
Understand. I know that's been a discussion. Like I said, when I was looking at it and I was reviewing it, to me, it was a guardrail because it's on top of the deck. So, I mean, it does not, I mean, by code, you're not required a guardrail because it's not more than 30 inches. So, because it was on the deck. Now, if it was off of the deck, yes, I would concur with you that it's a fence and it needs to be on the property line. Our ordinance requires that fences are on property lines.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? Do I have a motion? And when you make the motion, you can, you state why you either denying it or approving it.
Mr. Chair, the motion should reference that this is in fact for two different variance requests as well.
We should have two motions, and, or we can use it in one.
The maker of the motion could do it with one motion.
Okay.
excuse me.
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that, I guess, the deck itself is not on the property line. And there again too, as I said, so apparently, the railing's not on the property line. So either it's taken down or it's rectified,
What's to be rectified?
the deck itself.
Okay. Do I have a second on the motion?
Motion would either be to grant the variance
Variance.
request,
Grant or deny.
or to deny the variance requests.
Then excuse me, I make a request, we deny
And
the
there
variance.
should be reasons stated for the denial.
And the reason for the denial is it doesn't follow, there is not a setback of the property line itself.
And is it also because the applicant hasn't demonstrated a practical difficulty?
Yes, I would
Just to stay in line with the formal statement.
stay in line and
So
conform.
if there was going to be a motion in favor of granting the request, then the applicant, or the maker of the motion would indicate that a practical difficulty has been established and give the reasons why. If the motion is to recommend denial of the variance request, it would be because practical difficulties have not been established, based on the record.
Okay.
I just say, yeah, it, excuse me, Richard, you said a mouthful. I apologize by not being able to put that in raw form, but,
Well, if there would be two different motions. If there was motion to grant the variance request, it would be because both variance requests would be granted with regard to the side yard setback variance request and the rear yard setback request because of practical difficulties being established, and then the maker of the motion would want to give your reasons for the practical difficulties. If, on the other hand, the motion was to deny the variance request, it would be because practical difficulties have not been established, and that would be then a motion to.
yeah, excuse me, the question I ask is to the board and there can be some adjustments made on this deck and bring it into conformity. Yes or no?
I would defer to Ms. Nash on that one. I think that if the deck were minimized, perhaps it would, as long as it meets with the current zoning setback requirements, then a portion of that deck would be able to remain.
Yes, it would be a very small deck. I don't know what size the deck is, but I think if they were made to make it 20 feet in, I think you might end up with what, maybe 5 feet? 5 feet in depth and
Would not be anything
then
there.
20 feet. So it would be a very
Sideways or lengthwise, there would be nothing.
Yeah, it would be very minimal.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
It was a motion to deny or to approve?
Deny. Do I have a motion, or do I have a second? Do I have a second? Saying that I have none, the motion is,
Motion fails.
motion fails.
It what?
It fails.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
do I have anybody else that wants to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion to accept the variance, being that, the resident has inquired about it. It has been approved, by the building committee, or,
No, the building committee denied.
oh, okay, yeah, the building committee denies it, but, for the permit to be pulled for the deck to be, complete or leave as it is, I think that we should go ahead and, accept the variance on it.
I second it.
Been motioned and second. Is that okay, Mr. Albright? Okay.
Motion to grant the variance request, and the maker of the motion has indicated the practical difficulties, and so what goes on the record.
Right.
Okay. Holsley,
Yes.
Peak, yes. Creech?
No,
Okay. Rayford?
No.
No? Okay. Wilson?
No.
Okay. Lemo?
Yes. I am sorry, but you'll have to get with the city. The variance is not allowed. Okay? Have to make it, yes.
Smaller, move it back to comply with the
Move it
setback.
forward. Okay, and I would ask that you get with Sherry and her department and possibly have a building inspector come out, and maybe between you and the building inspector, they can work something out that you could adjust it. You might have to come back for a variance, but not as drastic as what you're asking. Okay? You're welcome. Board member comments? Mrs. Peak, any comments?
Nope, I don't have any.
Mr. Creech, any
No.
comment? Mr. Wilson?
That was a hard one. It was a very nice deck.
it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Mary?
None.
Partner in therapy?
No.
She and I go, we have the same therapist even.
Oh, okay.
Kill him. Oh, let's see. She handed one back. What did you do with it? Did I?
It would have been nice if they'd had
Did
the
you,
area to put
did you
it.
get one already?
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, yeah.
I
here's
move we
one.
adjourn.
Okay.
Second
Okay.
motion, Wilson?
Okay. Rayford?
Yes.
Thank you.
Wilson?
Yes.
Peak, yes. Creech?
Yes.
Just so,
Holsley? Yes. Lemo?
yes.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows,